You can, if we don't have, you can just, it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you anyways for the goodwill. Okay, we're into assignments here, and you see you should have done the tech guide, software added. I'm gonna add a new one for next week. Put it in your notes here, is I'm gonna add a new one of chapter 5, data. So we're gonna go from the software, we're gonna now go to chapter 5, the data. So what do I need to do in order to make it available to you? I need to go to edit test options. And in edit test options, I open the test in a new window, and what do I have to do? Yasmin, what do I have to do?
Click make available to students.
Click make available to students, because we're going to make it in terms of, I'm the only one in the role, and in this case, we'll give 2 attempts, okay, rather than 1. So I'm not going to set a time right now, and so what do I need to do? Submit. And what do you guys need to do? What is your role? To see if it's available. Is it available to you? Yes? Allie is available? Perfect. Okay, so we got that available. The next thing we need to do, so we know already one homework assignment, and let's have a section here of homework assignments, is what? Chapter 5, data. Under assignments, right? So that quiz, chapter 5, that's one thing that's due. The other thing that we want to do course documents. And under course documents, I want to go to PowerPoint. And you can download this too with me. Today I'm going to go over chapter TG2. TG stands for what? Tech Guide. We already know that, right? Life is easy when you know it. And then what else I want is I want chapter 5. I'll give you an introduction to chapter 5 as well, because it's important for us. So I'm going to open up the this PowerPoint, and we'll go over some of the questions that you may have and make sure that everybody understands what's happening. Okay, we have this one, and I also want chapter 5 as well. Okay, so I'm going to enable the editing here. And let's see what we need to do. Okay. So how we do with software. So last time we talked about hardware, right? And did anybody see anything about edge computing? Anybody ever hear of that? Put a note for edge computing as well in your notes, and we'll talk about that. Okay. So, these are the learning objectives of software. We're going to go well beyond this, but we're going to try to make it to life. So some of the things that we're going to talk about are issues with software, how do we acquire software. We'll also talk about open source software and what's the difference between open source, and it looks like maybe the opposite is called closed source, or maybe it's called proprietary software. And then we'll talk about major types of software and an operating system and application software. So, we'll talk about computer programs and programming as well. So this is what we'll use for this chart. One little circle on a circle. So we know what hardware is, right? If I look at Yasmin, she has her laptop here. This is hardware, right? What runs the computer is what? What is an operating system then? It's an operating system software. How do you pronounce your name? Anna? Anna. Oh, Anna. And I thought that was an I. And I your name? I'm Anna. Okay, Anna. Okay. So Anna. So what is system software? Another term for system software is an operating system. Give me an example of an operating system that you know, Anna.
It's like OS, like
Mac OS. What else? Carmen, you have an idea? What else?
Operating systems.
A name of an operating system that you use.
So I don't use that. Linux.
Linux is one. Linux is one. What else? Who else knows some more? So Katie, what else? What other operating systems do you know? So what's on your phone? Does your phone have an operating system? Everybody hear what I just said? Your phone has, so what's the name of your operating system for your phone? iOS, right? iOS is one. What other operating systems do we have? Microsoft what? Windows. Windows is another operating system. What's another one on a phone? If you don't have an Apple phone, what do you have? Android, right? So those are all operating systems, and you say, who cares? One of the things that we care about is we cannot use a computer or a computer device or an IoT unless it has an operating system that allows it to accept application software. So it's kind of like the underpinnings of my operating system. In an operating system then, Alex, one operating system that is open source is which one, Alex? Linux. It's called Linux, and you say, who cares? This operating system, when you hear open source, is how much does it cost? Free. Open source basically means that they have allowed the source code to be available to everyone to view and also many times to alter. For most of us, we have no business to alter that Linux open source because we don't know what to do with it. Right, Simon? That even if I gave you the code, you'd say, hey, I don't even know what to do with it. But if I'm in an environment where it's the world, maybe the world can then make special adjustments to it to make the software run better. So that's called Linux. And what I have here, as well as I have something called application software. Usually as an end user, which you are, you deal with the application software, not with the operating system as much. So the application, give me an example of an application software. Kristen, what's an example of an application software?
can I look it up really quick?
You even use it. Let's not even look it up. Just look at me, okay? Kristen, we're on a roll together. Let's take a deep breath and let's calm down. I know it's a little bit nervous, right? So let's think about it. Have you ever used what application do you use on that laptop? What do you use for that laptop? You bring to class, what? Spotify. What else? What are you doing now? You're typing, you were just typing, and what were you using? Safari, what else? Have you ever used Word? Have you ever used Word, Kristen?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever used Excel? Yeah, those are all what? Application software. Any software that you're using, basically, that you actually are using it, they make it a fancy word, Kristen, and they want to confuse you, and these computer scientists want to get a lot of money, so they say, oh, it's application software, and then you say, oh, okay, you know, I don't. You know. It's just you just didn't know the term that they use. So any software that you're going to be using is called an application software. Have you ever used speech recognition, where you're basically talking, then you're going to get it to text, or text to speech, right? All of that is being used as voice recognition. It's all basically discrete versus continuous speech. That's all application software. So these you know. Have you ever used any type of presentation software, Kristen, that you're going to do in the class? You've used some kind of PowerPoint or some kind of presenting software. That's, guess what? Application software. That's all there is to it. And then data management. So all of these are application software. My problem here is it seems like so remote from us, doesn't it? It's like all these terms, Kristen, it's like, what do I need to know that for? So one of the things that I want to show you in many cases is what's the difference between source code, right? You need something to know about programming. You need to know, put this in your note, you need to know something about source code. And you say, Linux operating system has open source code, so that means that I or you or Simon or Noah or Yasmin can edit it and can correct it. And the problem is that many of us don't even know how to read it, let alone how to correct it or add on to it. Everybody with me? So I'm going to show you, tonight we're going to go over source code in about 10 minutes, for about 10 minutes. And I'll show you that you know how to do it. At the end of 10 minutes, if somebody raises their hand, I want everyone to be able to raise their hand and they say, I understand source code. That's my challenge. Everybody with me? Take me up on that challenge, buddy. Jack has to leave early because he's not going to do that anymore, but he has to do it tonight, right? I'm not going to shame you or anything, Jack. But in this point here, I'm making it that his business fraternity is more important than my class. Can you imagine?
Horrible AKC. Horrible.
But anyways, he's going to tell his business
Run
fraternity
DSP.
that they should come here and they should all watch the class, right, Jack? That's what they should be doing on the night, right? No drinking, no nothing. They should be watching this class. Okay.
Drinking.
So anyways, I know what happens in those fraternities. Okay. So don't fool me. I may look naive. And I am. Okay, so let's go through this. Okay, so we got the technology. So what is my goal now? In the next 10 minutes is to do what? Learn about source code. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do right now. We talked about fintech, and Matthew was trying to tell me about fintech, and the whole idea of fintech is to get the computer to do things it does well. And we're going to be, basically my goal here is we're going to be working with the computer. And in the future, what I'm talking about the future is now, and in a couple of months, and in a couple of years, when you guys go out and get jobs, what they're going to be able to tell you is, guess what? Who's in finance? A lot of you, right, who's in marketing, right? A lot of you who's in accounting, right, and other majors, is they're going to tell you, guess what? A lot of the jobs are going to be done with the computer, and you got to figure out how you're going to fit in. Just the opposite. So, there's software that are platforms, and I'm talking about an application platform, Kristen, called, this is an example, it's called NinjaTrader. There are many out there. There's one that's popular that is called TradeStation. Have you heard of that, Alex? No. Okay, so maybe we'll invite some people in this class from TradeStation. They are located in Plantation. Anybody know where Plantation is? Broward County. They're located in Plantation. They have been bought out by the Japanese. The founders of TradeStation were guess what, Simon? Two graduates. And guess what they majored in? It was first software that would trade for humans. So what do you think they were? I'll give Simon to do the first guess. What do you think they majored in?
Finance.
Finance. Any other ideas? Computer science seems like the logical. Any other idea?
Business tech.
Business tech. Sounds really great, right? Anybody play an instrument here? Anybody play music? Who plays music here? There were music majors. Funny, huh? So you think about it. So you can do a lot of things in anything. There were brothers that were majoring in music here. So this is a platform that the computer then has strategies, has algorithms. And what are algorithms? They're rules that you follow that basically buy and sell stocks, or buy and sells equities, or buys and sells. Who creates those strategies are human beings. And later on what happens is human beings create those strategies, and later on built in AI. Who was telling me, Sarah, you were talking about AI? What artificial intelligence will probably do is try to improve those algorithms. Everybody with me so far? So this is just one platform that we'll be using next week. And I like it for a couple of reasons. You can basically, I don't want you to open up bank accounts and start trading now with your algorithms. Because guess what? You'll be losing your money, your parents' money, and I'll be here alone, right? Or you'll be so rich that you won't have to come either, right? But we will have like simulation accounts here. So what I'm going to do right now, it says Ninja Trader, and it gives me demo accounts and so forth. I'm just going to skip it. And we'll see if it comes up. And basically, it comes up with a lot of tutorials. If you're interested and you're really going to get into finance and that whole area, is they have like YouTube channels and they have a lot of things, but I just want to show you. I'm going to close this for right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. This is the platform, and I want to connect to a data feed. Everybody hear what I say? I want to connect to a data feed. Usually, anybody hear of the term HFT for trading? Yes. What is your name? Where's your name tag? You don't have one. Is that suffice? Is that good response here in this class? No. So take a sheet. Come up and take a sheet and make yourself a name. What is your name? Hassan. Okay. So make yourself a sheet. So in this case here, what's HFT? While you're making a name tag.
High frequency trading.
High frequency trading. What does that mean and who cares? High frequency trading. What does it sound like? Active trading, but high frequency means what? A lot. How fast? How many trades in a second? Thousands of trades in a second. When you blink your eye, it's already doing thousands of ones. And what they have in high frequency trading is it's so important. Their servers, right, their computers, because they're doing it so fast, they buy and they sell when we can almost blink our eyes. That's not what we're going to be doing in here, but you can see they have algorithms to do it. And these machines, the percentage of it's almost close to 90% of all equities are being now using algorithmic trading or computers buying and selling stocks. Amazing. So the idea of all my finance, if the computer's doing it, what are you going to be doing? If the computer's going to be taking over, so you say what to yourself, is that you're going to be writing the rules. So I need to connect to a data feed. So if I need to connect to a data feed, where should I go? In this case, Allie, where should I go? I need to connect. Connect. Look at this class. Okay, I need to connect. And right now, I can do a custom feed. I can do an external data feed. Or right now, I want something free. So where should I connect to?
The one that says free.
The one that says free. And you know me, I'm cheap, right? I think they say frugal, or what do they say? There must be a nicer word. But anyways, it's going to be end of day. And in this case, I'm connecting. And you hear a little ring, and it says connecting for them. Once I connect, then I can connect. I can do futures. I can do a number of different ways to do it. But right now, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to go to new, and I'm going to create a chart. And in this case, what do? You can see here I can do a number of different, I can do NASDAQ, I can do New York Stock Exchange, Forex. Anybody know what Forex is? What's Forex, Mike? Foreign currencies. So I can do foreign currencies 24/7, right? It's almost open 7 days. So when in nighttime I can trade in China, I can do all of those. I can do the NASDAQ. I can do a number of ones. But right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pick a stock everybody knows. So let's pick a stock. So who wants to pick one? Something that we all know. So Jack, you're gonna leave me soon, so let's pick a stock. What kind of computer do you have?
I'm not.
You have a Mac. What company is that?
Apple.
Apple. So what's their symbol for Apple? AAPL. Okay. So all I'm going to do now, you can look at what I'm doing now and you can see, I want to show you what? I have to show you source code. So I'm just going to do new. You see that? And at this case, I want to make, what type of data do I have? In this case, am I using then data? Am I using tick data? Am I using basically second data, minute data? Which one? I'm doing end of day, so it has to be what? End of day has to be what then? What should I pick? Day, right? Good. I pick day, and now I say, okay. And then it should be then, and in this case it says 1 minute. I need to change it to, in this case, I need to change this to daily. Let's see if it's going to work. Let's see if I'm going to be loading my data. Make sure that it works. So I'm going to do file. Let me do it again. File, new, chart, AAPL. I'm going to say new, right? I know that it said day, right? And I say okay. And now I have my data. Okay? And if I look at my data right here, right? How does it, just looking at it, Jack, you're on a roll. Does Apple look like lately it's done well? Huh? No. A little bit it looks like it's what? Going up. So basically, this area right here, can I make money on that? Yes. Paul, how?
What was the question again?
Did you see this trend here? What does this trend look like for Apple?
If you short it.
If I short it. And now everybody has to figure out what does it mean to short. Everybody knows what to buy is, right? I turn it, what do I want to do? I want to buy when it's low price and I want to hopefully sell when it's high. What's short then, Paul?
Yeah, you're like selling shares that you don't own necessarily.
Okay, or let's even put it in easier terms. A short is I'm betting that it's going to go down. And if I'm right, what will I be? I'll make money. So it's just like I'm betting that it will be going down. So in this case, Allie, can you be so kind? Pass that on to him and make sure that he has a marker that I can see. Okay, we want to help each other. Okay. Yes? Didn't you see, Allie, that he had a weak sign? We don't want anything weak. So basically what we have to do is how the computer knows to buy and sell are based on algorithms and based on strategies. In NinjaTrader or in any platform, they have what they call built-in strategies that somebody wrote, simple strategies. You can write your own. You can buy your own. We're going to start off with simple, because we're not going to do complex if we don't understand simple. So I'm taking what I call a simple strategy, and my simple strategy is called sample MA crossover. I'm going to say new, and in this case, once I have my sample MA crossover, I want to enable it. So Turner, you're with me?
Yeah.
I want to enable it. What is the value of enabled right now?
Enabled?
Help them out. What's the value of enabled right now?
False.
False. And what do you think I want to make it?
True.
True. So you already know in computer programming, I can have a value that's false, and if it's not false, it would be true. You got it? Now I want to apply it. And it says, although you have order confirmation enables, orders generated by a strategy will be submitted without confirmation. So what does that mean in plain English? It means, guess what? You set up a strategy, you hook it to the bank account, you say go, whatever the computer then has determined, it will execute for you. So you better have a good strategy, or else guess what? I can lose my own money, but with a computer, with a strategy, you can lose it a lot quicker. So starting with $1 million, I can lose it quickly. So I'm just going to say, okay, we're in simulation mode, so we don't have to worry about it, and I'm going to say, okay. Now, this right here is a simple moving average. The green line is a simple moving average. Notice when they cross, there's like a symbol. This one says buy. When up there, when it says the pink one, it's going down. What does it say on the very top there, Simon?
At the very top.
Right here. You see this going down?
Oh,
What does
yeah,
it
yeah.
say?
Sell short. 100.
Sell short 100 shares
at
at 217. And then, what did it say right here? Buy what?
100 shares at $155.
155. So I'm buying right there lower than up there. This dotted line shows me how well I did. If it's green, do you think it's a profit or not?
A profit.
Green means profit, red means loss. So notice in this one, Paul, right, when the computer then said when these cross over, when one, for instance, is green is over there, and I go pink, go ahead and short, it actually did this. And did I make money by it going down? I did. So even though this market for a while has gone down, guess what? We can do well if I have a good model. And then let me show you here, for instance, Paul, this red line, right? Basically, what color is this, Paul?
Pink, I can't remember.
Yeah, pink. And it basically is red, so you think that's making money or losing money just by hearing red? I'm losing, right? I said buy, so really what should I have done in this case is I probably should have what? Shorted. And in this case it says go ahead and short, and guess what? It went up. In this case, what did it do? It buy at 191, and then when should I have sold? Perfect. So one of the things here, this one I'm going backwards in time. Put this in your notes. Put it in your notes. It's called back testing. What you can do, once I have a strategy, do you hear me, Kristen? Once I have a strategy, I don't want to start executing it. I first want to back test it. I want to see how well, had I taken this strategy, how well would I have done? Before we say, hey, let's go for it. Right? We got Noah here with $10 million, right, in the suitcase, right? He's saying, hey, that's nothing for me. That's chump change, right? And he says, guess what, Paul? We're in this group. We got Alex already. He's computer science. What's your major, Paul? Finance. We get some marketing. Michelle's in marketing. She's going to market our strategies for us, and we're going to make a hit, right? But Paul says, wait a minute, hold on. Alex can program it, but stop. We need to check it, and that's called back testing. Everybody with me? So it's back testing, and there's also something called forward testing. I'm going to do forward in time, and that's where I get into my AI as well, my artificial intelligence. And what I can tell here is I can right-click here on my chart, and you see where it says strategy performance? It says sample crossover, and I want to see the historical in real-time results. So where should I press? Yasmin, where should I go now?
Click historical in real time.
Wow, look at this class. Okay. This one, that sample MA crossover for AAPL, looks like it was winning in all trades, long trades, and short trades. It's black, right? Some of these you can see the max down total number of trades. What it looks like 25% of my long trades were good, 20% were profitable, and 22. So now what did I tell you I was going to teach you? Have you seen any source code, Paul? Nada, right? Nothing. So let me show you the source code. So now we got to figure out, now once we've seen what's happening, I need to do now, look at the source code. So I am going to Tools, and the source code for this is called NinjaScript. The source code language for NinjaTrader, because it's called Ninja, is a scripting language. It's called NinjaScript. It really is C#. Anybody play an instrument, you know, like flat, C flat, C#? It's really called C#. It's a version of, anybody hear Java? Anybody hear the word JavaScript? It's basically like JavaScript. The only difference is it has built-in functions or built-in libraries that use the stock market and use these ones. So I'm going to look at a strategy. And what's the name of my strategy that I just did? Sample MA crossover, right? And I want to see what is the source code, because what you can do is you can take strategies, you can run them, but you can also edit them. So let's say we had a strategy and it was really great for the shorts, but it wasn't really very good for the longs. I could take out that part of my code that it is. So this is source code right here. Does it look like English? Anything where there has these green lines in it with these basically backslashes, those are called comments. Those are for people to read. Right? And then they have some other things. You don't have to worry about that. Once you had any programming, you can see it. There's a sample, there's a strategy. You see the word strategy here. And you remember we had a plot, one was orange, one was green. So basically, everybody knows how to read from left to right. Anybody know how to read from right to left, the language? Anybody? Okay, I do. But anyways, so basically what I like to do here is I like to read this from right to left. And what does this mean? The orange color, right? I'm going to call that SMA fast. So you remember that long line that I had? That was basically that solid, like, orange line. That was my fast SMA. And my slow SMA was what color? Green. We read it right there. And then it says, so go ahead and add the fast SMA, add the slow SMA, and calculate on the bar, when the bar closes, what should it be set to, Turner?
True.
True. You remember how we were doing the true or false? And now, this is the logic of the program. This is all there is, and I bet Paul will use you as an example, okay? You're my short person, okay? We have something called a function called enter long, and what do you think that is? Buy or short? Enter a long position means go ahead and buy it, right? I'm hoping that it's going up, right? Enter short means what? I'm betting it's going down. You remember when we had that pink arrow was going down? You remember when the pink, so it says if the fast, if it crosses above the slow, what should we do? Buy. If it crosses below, what should we do? Enter short. And let me tell you now, Paul, if I gave you an example and showed you a stock that really was not profitable in the longs, and I'd say go edit the program, what would you do? Basically, just take your, just like a word processor, right, like a text editor, and just delete these 2 lines. Or put some comments here and just comment these out. And then rerun the program. That's source code. How'd I do in 10 minutes? Do you see the idea? So the idea here is and there's a job out there, it's called quant programmers. QUANT programmers. Their starting salary, $250K, plus, if your strategies are good, commissions to that. They're giving $250K out beginning salaries because it's not an easy job. But they don't work alone. They work in teams. So they'll have my computer science people, I'll have my finance people, I may have the people that know a certain sector. So if we're just dealing, let's say, with the health sector, I may even have some physicians in that group. If we're dealing with, let's say, maybe just a certain number of stocks, like my FANG stocks. What's FANG?
Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google.
Right. So if I look at those, and then maybe that's all you're specializing in, right? You've worked with that sector, you know those people, you're an analyst with those. I'll have those people. I'll even have mathematicians. I'll have physics people, and they'll work together as an entire team. It can be globally, right? That's why we were doing the collaboration. They'll work globally together to put that in, and this is source code. So you'll have strategies, and what do you keep on trying to do is to keep on tweaking it, because the markets stay the same every day. It even changes throughout the day, right? Think about Apple. Apple was the darling. Did you see all of a sudden what Apple looks like? It's like, woe is me, right? You remember? All you could do was think Apple was going up. Now all of a sudden, anybody hear about that FaceTime bug, right? All of a sudden you're going to be, somebody's calling you and then they're listening on what you're saying, right? So now all of a sudden we're thinking about, Facebook is doing a little bit better, but Facebook had those problems too with thinking about the ideas of my privacy, right? All of a sudden I don't like it, so people are thinking they're going to go to Instagram. They don't realize who owns Instagram. Facebook, right? So all of a sudden I'm not going to deal with them. They're really trying to integrate. Google then is always spying on you, right? How much does Gmail cost? 0. So what are they doing? Every time I'm doing something, I can have it. So let's do this. So based on this, you can see it. That is what source code. So I wanted to bring that to you for a live here for it. Okay? So let's do this. Let's take I hate to do this. Let's try it this time. You want a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break? 10? Let's do a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 7:40 and we'll do an exercise for next week on Excel. You know what I mean? So everybody's stretched and so forth, and we can do it. Okay? So let's do let's do like 10 minutes. We'll come back and then we'll see how this is, whether we should go, and then you can give me feedback. Do you want to just go straight through? You understand? But I'm just thinking this is a good time to think about it. So what happened here? Who's this? Okay, I hear you. So let me try to see your screen sharing. Somehow I'm not in live. I thought I'd live broadcast. So let me try it again. I'm going to shut down and try again. Let me see. Off air. Hi. Off air. Let me see. Somehow it got screwed up. Isn't this funny? Huh?
It's weird.
It's weird, huh? So somebody's spying on us, huh? Okay, so let me just see here. I'm gonna shut down, I'm gonna try again, okay? I may have to do another one. So.
Professor,
What?
so Garrett wasn't able to add me to the audit part, and I'm still not enrolled in that part of the class. And then my other, the other member of the group, he tried as well and he couldn't, so I just said.
Did you call them?
Yeah, he's right
Yeah, I'm in the
here.
group too. I'm
Yeah,
in.
but did you call Blackboard?
Oh, I had to do that?
Should we call through Blackboard? Oh,
No,
okay.
they have a number. Call now. You have your phone. Call
Yeah.
now with Blackboard and tell them to put you in.
Okay,
Okay, if there's
Well-
somebody, or you can get somebody in the class to put you in.
yeah, I tried with him and the
Yeah, I
other
don't know
guy,
how to
but-
put her in. I don't know. how to do
Well, okay, I'll show you now, real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
it. Awesome, thank you.
So where do you go, so you need to be in the audit area, right?
Yeah,
So I go to, you're in the audit area,
yeah,
right?
I'm in it. Yeah.
Okay, so where is it? It's BTE, audit,
Yep.
KX. And where do you think you need? You're a user, so where do you think you're gonna go? Users and groups.
Oh,
Right.
I hit users and it was just
And
adding users. Is it that easy?
Okay, users?
Everything's easy when you know it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it says what? It basically,
Find-
here's users,
okay,
find
cool.
users. No, this is find users to enroll, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you're gonna go for, you're gonna browse and find them, and then you're gonna make them, do it now. Do it now,
All right. Thank you.
right now,
Let's do it.
Yeah. With your laptop maybe?
Yeah.
okay? So give me feedback whether you wanna do these, you know, like, is it better to do like these breaks or just keep on going, you know? We'll try it out. Paul, you want to do me a favor? Help those guys next to you to enroll themselves to the user. We want to help each other. So see what they can do. Okay, so let me do this. Start Hangouts on air.
So you're a finance major? What, is this your sophomore year? Yeah.
I don't want to join.
I'm a junior as well.
I'm joining. I want to go to the new one.
Yeah, we could.
Did you get it?
We're looking right now for the user.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh, it's not that, but it's like something else.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
it?
No, it's something
Something
like
like
that.
that?
Yeah.
Yes. Right, yeah.
Just going through it. Yeah, but it was ready with the, like really. And then, you should. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe I think, yeah, maybe.
Try the, is it three numbers or just it? Is it?
Okay, Paul.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
maybe.
we're doing it with users. That's users.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Paul, yeah.
That's a dope season.
Yeah, right? It's super easy. Oh yeah, the first one. Okay. Okay, yes, okay, now, so go to, oh shit, oh shit.
So I roll to the whole.
So yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
change the role.
Oh yeah.
Did you get it?
We're good.
See, everything's easy. So did you get everybody in there? You put everybody's email?
We're all set now. Thank you.
Everything's easy when you know it.
Yeah.
So you need to reach out to everybody to help you.
I really don't. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Alright, I gotta review Python. It's been a bit. It's been a bit. But I think that code was right. Oh, that's what I forgot. I'm so dumb. What are you doing?
Shit. That's not what I meant to do.
What do you mean to do?
Do it to your messages.
I turned them off. I'm trying to hold. Do you know Python?
What? Yeah. Why?
I'm trying to learn it.
Okay, it's good. Do you know other programming languages? Or is this your first?
I know HTML, but like
Okay, yeah.
that's pretty basic.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, it's common for, once you learn any of them, it's easier to pick up other ones. But Python is, they're using quite a bit in AI, you know what I mean? That's kind of like the
Also,
new.
I heard it's my Business 150
Uh-huh.
professor told me that it's the best thing to use for like business stuff.
It's not, it's popular now, you know, later on it'll be something else, you know what I mean? But right now, it's popular for those, you know. But once you learn one of these, you know, we'll do some, you know, you will see some of these, and once you have these, there are gonna be other ones coming out, you know? The whole idea is that you understand, you know, like you're saying, the if-then, the rules, that we'll have it. But it's important for you to have that, even if you're not gonna be a programmer, just to communicate with programmers. You know what I mean? You'll be in a team, no matter what you'll do, and you say, hey, I wanna hire some people. Whatever you do, you wanna be able, sort of like you're saying, I don't know how to read. You know what I mean? At least to have the basics, you know what I mean? You don't wanna have somebody reading to you, you know, all the time. Okay, so let's do this. We'll put this here. I'm gonna copy this.
Cisco? Or you?
And then we're gonna start broadcasting. Now we're gonna screen share. I'm gonna share. And now I am going to, I'm putting this on. Right, I started my Hangouts. And now I wanna go to the Psycho. Steam it, the Psycho. And where are we? We're the Psycho, and we're gonna go to
Reverse the word. Let's go. This is my sweater. And so that's the reverse. That's like a common interview question. But you're not supposed to do it like that. You're supposed to do it some really complicated way.
You're supposed to just put, yeah, you're supposed to do this. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
No, I'm saying for an interview question, like one of them is to reverse. Like one of the questions is like reverse the string, you reverse the code. And like the way to do it is make your string equal to the code that you did. And then just do this, and that's like a cheating way. But like it's not cheating if you do it. If you know it, you know it. Like whatever.
Okay. All right.
Okay, she's dead.
Do you have a phone? Simon?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Dial this number. Now, NOW.
Wait, well, this is, I'm putting this in
Yeah, you wanna dial it, I wanna
Oh,
talk to
okay.
Okay, dial it, N-O-W,
Yeah.
A-I-R. You get your phone back.
Okay.
Where's your phone? Okay, now, you see where now is N-O-W, so N.
I already
Oh,
did
yeah, oh,
it.
you did it? Now air open.
Open.
Open, yeah. Okay, and done. Thanks. Okay. We're now, check, Steam at the Psycho, we have a new link. Yes, on the top. On the, yeah. You see it? Okay, bye. Thanks. Okay, you can hang up. Thanks. All right, now, okay, folks. So now, everybody take a break. So you can let me know afterwards if you want a break or not. Okay, if this fits for everyone. It may be. So we may start to do that. Okay, so what I want to do now is any questions on what source code is? Everybody got it? Trudy? It makes more sense now when you see it that we can do this. So now we think about the idea. Let me go back to where we were before. And for next week, what was some of the homework you had to do? Was to do the quiz. What chapter quiz did you have to do? 5. And 5 is talking about what? Data knowledge management that you'll do. We'll go into it more. I just want to show you a bit. We'll talk about that more. Let me just go to the slideshow. Is we talk about how we're going to manage my data, what's a database approach, what's big data. We'll talk about data warehouses and data marts, everything data that you could ever do. And really, if I think about what future trends are and the whole idea why AI is becoming so prevalent, something called machine learning is so prevalent, is because it's so easy now to get our data. We can get our data from our websites. We can get our data from e-commerce. We can get our data about a number of things. And one of the things that we have is we'll talk about how do you manage the data and how do you forecast the data. We can get it from internal sources, external sources, and I'll talk about more later about this. We'll talk also about data. We'll then start talking about blockchain, data files. We talked already about bits and bytes. And a field, basically, if I look at it, we know a bit is either just on or off. We can think about a byte is just a character. And we can think about a field is one of the column headings in a spreadsheet. So if I think about a field, it could be what? When we pass around the roll, it's first name, last name, right? Phone, email, upload, yes, no. Those are all fields. We know it already. It's just funny words that we use, right, Kristen? So basically they're trying to impress us. We really know what a field is. And then what a data file is or a table, we can do equivalency of a table, could be like a spreadsheet. And then a database is a collection of those tables. Now, we're not going to go through these terms, but big data and defining big data is big data where we think about trying to make forecasts about my data, trying to predict in the future what will happen with large amounts of data. And then they talk about two descriptions of big data. They either talk about it's diverse, high volume, high velocity, decision making, insight discovery, and process optimization. That's from Gartner. You have these slides, you don't have to copy them, right? And then they say that includes structured, unstructured, or semi-structured data. They talk about it can be captured, processed, transformed. They give us all these definitions. And what do I say to you? All these words are good for you to know, and you have to be articulate, right? But what's important is how am I going to use it? And I'm telling you, just like we did with that automating trading systems, well, what's better to think about big data? Let's use an example. And what's better in big data is let's think about the stock market. Do we have enough data in there, Stone? Plenty, right? I can do daily. I can do what? I can do tick by tick. I can basically do 5 minutes. I can do 20 minutes. I can do months. I can do years. There's no better example of data, big data, than using the stock market. So let's do an exercise with big data. Everybody have Excel on their machines. I'm going to go through an Excel exercise to think about big data. And what I want with the big data is, what do I want to do? Is I want to not only, when we looked at before, back test my strategy to know how it did over time, right, Paul? That I went backwards in time. But really, what do we want to know? Apple, we see, was going up a little bit. What we really are concerned about, what's it going to do tomorrow, right? What's it going to do next week? That's really what we're concerned. Because to look back here, even I could tell you back there, hey, when it was going down, I could say now, back testing, I said, we should buy right here. And then what should we be doing is we should, when it's going down, then short, and then get out when it's at the low part. That's no big brain change. But what's hard to do is when you ask any of these people on their strategies, is now what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to, and they usually say, well, I don't know. But at least we want to be able to lower our bets and to see how well our model does. So basically what Sarah threw out there was the AI. You say, what is AI anyways? Basically what AI is basically testing the model and seeing how accurate it is. And those differences, basically, based on those differences, we want to improve what? We want to minimize our error. You understand that, Stone? So what I really want to do is once my model gets, I know, am I going to be 100% correct? Of course not. Right? But what do I want to do? I want to get more and more correct, and I want to minimize my error. That's what I want to do. So, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have this assignment for next week. I have two places where I put it. Oh, now I'm hearing myself again. Isn't that great? Okay, let me find myself here to shut myself off. Right? You never love it so much. Okay, so what I want now, I'm going to screen share. Right, I'm screen sharing so I can get that. Now what I want to do is I want to go to my Blackboard. And we now know how to add, right? We know how to add users.
Right.
Good, excellent. Everything is easy when you know it, remember that. Now that you know it, it's like no big deal, no big shakes. Okay, so I have a couple of things here that I can show you. In my go to your regular course document, your regular Blackboard. And in your regular Blackboard, under BTEKX, if you go to course documents, you'll see something that says XLSX forecast. Everybody see that? Everybody see that in your regular section, XLSX forecast. And you have a number of samples there that I gave you of look ahead forecast. And then if I download this, what happens? I have a slide there. And then if you go back to your Blackboard, and let's go to the audit area, KX, and I have in the KX, I have course documents. I'm group 0. You remember I'm in with everybody's group, but I have my own group. I have FinTech. I have XLS, X, and I have that first one. Let me download this. And let's see what I get here. And if I open it, let's see what happens. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I need to get data. I want to forecast what's going to happen. You remember we saw it in the next week. Where are we meeting next week? School of Business 204, and then we're going to try to do the Ninja Trader. We'll see how that works. We'll actually sit in front of the computers there, and we'll see how it works. And you can give me feedback whether you want class over there or you want class here. We got choices, so we'll see which one's better. Or we'll switch back and forth. So those people in your group that were not here, let them know. Anyone have a class in this building right before this? Anyone? No. So we'll have somebody put a note up. Okay. So where can I get data? What I want to do is I want to get data. I want to get data. Where can I get data? I want to get stock market data. Yes. Oh. Bloomberg. We don't have Bloomberg. What?
Yahoo?
Yeah, we can go to Yahoo Finance and get it. We can go to Bloomberg, but let's go to Yahoo Finance. So let's do this. Let's open up a sheet. So let's open up. I'm going to add a sheet here. Let me enable editing. You always want to enable editing. So let me open up a sheet. I have a sheet here. So I'm going to go to Yahoo Finance. So we can take notes here. So the first thing we want to do is we can go to Yahoo Finance. Everybody with me? And help your neighbors. So Nikki, did you get to Yahoo Finance? And what I want you to do, one of the things that I told you about as well, is I wanted you to look at the market sector. You remember last week and see what were the sectors that were doing it. Did you do that, Allie?
Yes.
And what did you find out?
I did the healthcare industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I did well.
And what were they, Allie?
Which is Florida.
Who else took did you do it? What industry did you choose?
I used like the technology sector.
The technology sector. And what did you find?
The 10 that I found.
And Yasmin, did you do one?
No.
No, why not?
Wait, one of the FinTech articles?
No, we're talking about the market sector, the stock sectors. You're gonna need to do that. So, or work it out. Saying no is not good. Okay, so what did you find, Trudy?
So I found like a top 10 article. So it had like Amazon.
Okay.
It had Baidu, which is like the Google.
Okay, it's Chinese. Okay, good.
Apple,
Apple.
NXP,
Okay.
Alibaba, the group holdings.
Okay, so let's pick one. And then what did you get for healthcare, Ally?
I got the United Health Group,
Okay.
Medtronic,
Okay.
Abbott,
Okay.
Express Scripts, Thermo Fisher Scientific.
Okay, so we got any ideas? So for next week's assignment is you pick, let's start with one stock. Pick one of the stocks that you did for your assignment, and if you didn't do the assignment, what was the assignment, Allie?
It was to choose the top 10, find their ticker symbols.
And find their ticker symbols, right? So we'll start with one, and then later on, what do we want for the computer? If we give it our strategy, Alex, what we can do is we can have the computer go out there and scan the universe and find the best ones that fit our strategy. That's part of, Sarah, what we call AI, that the AI starts searching for me for the best stocks for next week. Right? Rather than every night, do you want Trudy at 2 o'clock in the morning every night to go and look at what are the best things to do for tomorrow? You don't want to do that. You want to have fun. Either you're going to be in bed or you're going to have some fun with your friends, not searching for stocks. So the things that the computer can do, well, you want it to do. So right now, we're going to do things manually. You understand? In order to teach the computer, we have to know what we want. The computer just doesn't wake up one day and is intelligent, Sarah. It's not saying, oh, I know what you want, and it comes to me in the morning and says, you know what, Dr. Sarah, I know exactly what you want. It doesn't know that, just like Siri, but it learns, just like basically when you say, you know, Siri or any of the other, or Alexa, right? They learn your patterns. It's the same thing of this AI, of learning what I want in terms of what's going to be profitable. But before we can have that, we need to do it manually. Everybody with me? Then once we do it manually, then we want to automate it, that every morning it comes up and tells me, number one, these are the ones, if I give it an okay, then I say yes, then it will trade for me. Or I say, hey, wait a minute, I want you to go and read some paper and find out all of a sudden we invaded Venezuela, and all of a sudden it may be news that something's happened with Iran, right? And all of a sudden we've invaded Iran, and maybe something else happened somewhere else in the Mideast. Do you think if all that happened, you think the markets are going to respond the same? No. So now they even have sentiment analysis that they can tell. They can tell on Twitter feeds. They can, Michelle, you're going to be in my social media. You can even go out to social media and find the pulse of what people are thinking about. All that'll be incorporated in my models. But right now, I need to make sure that we can do it manually first. Then we'll automate it. So let's start with, just because we did the Apple before, you remember when we did the Apple in this? Let's keep with Apple again. So I'm just going to do it. Later on, you can choose any one that you want. Even now when you're doing it, doesn't matter. You can choose one of your companies. Might as well. You know what I would do? I would choose one of your companies because you're going to have it do anyways from homework, and maybe it'll finish 90% of your homework while you do it with me. So I'm going to do, just for the way here, and notice here it's saying it's trending today. Google was trending, right? Apple was trending, right? So I'm going to do Apple just because we did Apple before, right? And in this case, I'm going to search for APPL. I'm going to search, right? And then I got Apple. It did well today, you remember? Had we done it, it did 2.84. But the idea is what's it going to do tomorrow? Now, what I'm going to look at and put in your notes, I'm going to look for historical data. Right, Paul? Simple, right? I'm going to do historical data right here. So I'm going to do historical data. And at the time, I want daily, and here is the time frame, right? I can give it, let's say I give it 3 months just for I'll do small in terms here, 3 months. And then this is a whole year, I don't want a whole year, I want to change this. Right, I want 3 months. Right, 11/4, good, so I'll apply. Okay, so I got my data done. Now, I can do it many different ways. I can download my data, or I can copy and paste. Now, when I have my data, I want to have my titles too. So let me just go down for a while. So let's see here, what do I want here? In terms here, let's say I want then, I'm just going then to, I'll just download my data. Let's see what happens if I download my data. I download my data, and it says .csv. Everybody see that? And my question to you is, what does .csv mean? Who knows? Paul, what's that? Huh? No, what's .csv mean? If you don't know, what do? Yasmin, don't sit and look at me. It's comma separated values, and then the next question is, who cares? What does that mean? It means that I get my data, each field, do you remember what a field is? A field is basically, each of those fields then are going to be separated by some kind of special value, whether it's a comma, or in this case, comma separated value means common separated value, and Excel can read it. But other programs can read it too. Google Docs can read it, a number of it, and it's in English. So I have it in Excel. So in this case, if I have it in Excel, I then want to see it. I can also, in this case, I can see my Excel. Another way that you can do it is I can just take my data here, and then I can also just copy my data. Let's say I just wanted 30, I can just even copy my data. So let me just copy my data here. I can even do Control-C or copy it. I can go into my, I could go into any of my spreadsheets here, and I could go right here, and I could then paste them in. I could do a number of different ways here. Let me just cancel it. I could do a different number of ways in which I could do that. Okay? And in this case, let me just then, I'll don't save, and I can close it. So let me just close this, and let me see here. I have a number of ones. Let me just close some of these spreadsheets here that I have. And I could then set this up. Let me close this, and let me open up my Excel. And let me then just get a new sheet and go back to my, where is my, I got Paint, where do I have Paint here? And let me go to my Google Chrome. Okay, so in my Google Chrome now I have my data, and I would download my data into my spreadsheet. Questions? Yes, any questions? So now let me go to my Excel. Let me make sure that I have my Excel. I'll open up my Excel. And let me just open up here. And let me go to my sheet here, protected enabled. And let me go to my Excel. Okay. So, so I have my data here and I have my apple. Now, what you should do in the beginning of your spreadsheet, let me insert some dates. And let me have, in this case, I'll say, what am I doing? I'm doing apple. I have my date and my open. Now, I want to highlight the name of my apple, and I want to highlight the areas of my open and the date. Just my open and my date. I want to highlight my open and my date. Everybody with me? Now, one of the things, if you look at it, my dates are with days and dates. It's your date with days. So you want to make sure before you even do that, you want to make sure on your dates, and let me just show you, on your dates, you want to make sure that on your dates, under format cells, you want to make sure that you have date, and it looks something like the day and the month and the date. And the reason I want that is we can see Saturday and Sunday is there's trading in the regular stocks. Usually not. In Forex it isn't. So I can see basically my Saturdays and Sundays. I can see where it is so I can read it a bit more. So make sure your date is set to this. And then say okay. The next thing that I want, my date, is going to be my X. So I'm going to put right on top of that, I'm going to say X equals date. And for my open, I'm going to say Y equals open. And I can use even a capital X and Y. And I'm going to highlight my A and B, my columns A and B. I'm going to highlight my columns A and B. And what do I want to do? I want to forecast. Anybody has done regression analysis? Anyone has heard about R square? What have you heard, Mike, about R square? What's the value of R square?
Is it normally tracking it?
What is R square? Anybody tell me what R square is? R square has what value, Alex? You know?
Isn't it correlation coefficient?
It's a basic correlation. What's its value? From what to what? 0 to 1. Correlation is -1 to +1. Since it's squared, right, it only can be positive. This means 0, little relationship, or my forecast is very weak. 1 means strong. How many times do you think I'm going to get a model that's a 1? Never. But I want to what? Increase it to be higher, and I want to minimize what? My error. So what I want to do at this point is I want to insert a chart. So where do I go to insert a chart? Insert, what a class. So I'm going to insert a chart, and in this case, when I'm going to be looking at my charts, basically what I want to insert then is a line chart. So put that in your notes. I want to go to insert, line chart, and then I want to choose line with markers. Line with markers. I want to insert line chart, line with markers, and this is my apple. And notice why I like the line with markers. You could use anything, but I like it because then I can see my dates this way. If I do other line charts, it squishes it up so much so I see it. And now, once I have my line with charts, I want to highlight one of the markers. You see where my cursor is? I want to highlight one of the markers, and I want to see what the trend is. I'm right-clicking here. I want to see the trend, so what do I add? Turner, what do I add? I want to see a trend.
Trend line?
Add trend line. Because I want to see what is what, Paul? The future. I want to see in the future. The back test, of course, I want to make sure that it works for my automated trading strategy, but I want to do the trend as well. So at that case, I'm going to add my trend lines. Now, I'm going to do 2 trend lines. You can put it in your notes. I'm going to do 2 trend lines. I'm going to do a linear one, which means what? Straight line. Or I want, but does the stock market really go in a straight line? No way, right? Even with this, it was trying, right? No way is it going to be the straight line. But what I wanted to do is I want to format the trend line. I want to do linear, and I'm going to do polynomial. I'll do 2 of them. So put in your notes here. I want to do linear and polynomial. So I'm going to start with the linear, right? And put this in your notes as well. I'm going to start with the linear, and notice here, I want to forecast forward 5 periods. Yes? I want to forecast 5 periods. So what should I do? Who can help me? Yes, Trudy?
You make it 5.0.
Yeah, so all I have to do is where it says forecast, you're going to put 5-0. 5 periods. I'm not going to do backward, but that would be like what, Paul? It would be like back testing, right? But in this case, we're not going to do that. And I want to display, put in your notes here, I want to display the equation on the chart. And I want to display the R square on my chart. So at this point, and it's blue, So at this point, I'll make it, in this case, you see here, fill the line here, and I'll make the color, maybe I'll make it even, I'll make it red. Okay, so my linear then is red, forecasting it, and I can even move it here. So this is my linear equation here with my r squared is 0.43, right? And in this case, basically, the forecast trend, Paul, does it look like it's going to be going up or down?
The linear,
The forecast, this is my
yeah, it's going up.
going up. So supposedly, in 5 days, we want to then what? Sarah, we want to then check our models, keep on checking our models automatically and see how much am I different from what it's actually forecasting. And then making the machine then start making the adjustments. Do you see that, Yasmin? So I'm going to be doing that with the linear, but I hope to get a better forecast with the polynomial. So what should I pick next? Noah. I just did now what? The linear, right?
Yeah, so go back.
So in this case, what do I want to do? So in this case, what did I say I wanted to do? I wanted to what? Add a trend line, right? What am I going to pick? Add a trend line. Right? I formatted my trend line already. Now what do I want to do? I want to pick what? Polynomial. And at what level of polynomial do I want to pick? Wow, I'm getting feedback, huh? I'm going to do then what? 6 order. And how many forward? How many forward? How many periods? 5. And do I want to display the equation on the chart? Yes. Right? And do I want to get my r squared on the chart? Yes. So in this case, if I'm going to move this around, right, basically what I'll be able to see is much more complicated, right? I can change the color, right? We have it going, in this case it looks like it's going blue, right? Let's change the color. Let's make it maybe in this case turquoise. We can make a number. The transparencies, we can make it solid line, no lines. We can do a number of different ones. If I later on, if I didn't lose it, I can just, in this case, I can start. So let's start again. What do? I do insert. Where do I go? Where do I go? Line chart. And which line? Line with markers. Very good. Now where do I go? I highlight one of these markers, and what should I do? Where should I go now? Add trend line. And now what should I do? I'm in linear right now, right? And how many forward should I go? 5. And do I want to display the equation on the chart? Yes. And do I want to make the r squared value on the chart? Yes. I can take that and I can move it anywhere I want. So I can move this, I can make it bigger, I can do whatever I want on this chart. Now, how do I make another one? Add trend line. Go to polynomial. Right? What order? 6 order, right? I go to 6 order. How many forward? 5 is the order. And I want to display the chart. I want to display my r squared. Now look at the difference in my r squared. This was now 0.70. that better or worse than my linear? Paul? 0.7 versus 0.43. What's better? 0.7. And in this case, this looks flat. What does it look here? Much steeper. Is it correct? We don't know until we get the data from the next year. So, what I have, you can see, so you can see the number of those, what I've done before is what you can then do. Let me just go back a bit. You can then, basically what I want is you to do this for next week and compare your residuals and see what the difference is. And then when the days like started off like tomorrow, and then when do we have class? Next what? Monday. Maybe on Friday already or Thursday you can see what we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then on Friday you can see how well they do. And save the sheet with your name and upload it, and then we'll start training it. And we'll start automating it that it can go out to the internet every day, Allie, and do it for us and bring back the spreadsheet already. And then it can also, this is the beginning, and then we can have our automated trading system hook up to our bank account and then do the trading for us, and then we work and then we start improving the models. I just want you to be exposed to it so you can see how it works. Yes, bring it. Brian?
Yeah. These instructions is just kind of like, you gotta go.
Well, in terms of what did I give you instructions, let me show you where I gave you, I'll give you instructions. So, let me go back to my Chrome. So on Blackboard, I've given you a couple of examples. On Blackboard, in the audit section, under my section, if you download this, called XLS Error, and open it, I'll tell you where I want you to go. First of all, you can see in the first one where it says this was using Brent Curtor. In my group 0, it says Brent. Do you know how to download the data from Yahoo? You download the data from Yahoo, bring it into a spreadsheet. You don't. This is more complicated. You don't have to worry about this part, change or open. But basically, the step is what? Insert the line, right? Line with markers. I also show you, if you look here, you can see here in the spreadsheet, I give you the same one that you can look at this spreadsheet. I also show you kind of the data that you have in this spreadsheet. This one don't worry about, but that's one that you can just basically, let me go to enable editing, you just can see then the steps that you need to do along that way. So just insert it, and then just, if you look here, you can see here some of the changes on how this was done. But this is percent open, don't worry about this. Because later on, I'll show you, what I'll show you is we violate some assumptions. It's not so simple. So do this of just doing the linear and the polynomial, what order? Six order. Compare your R squares, what the differences are, and then see, put in back into the model what it did 5 days later, and show was it correct or not, your market. So if the trends were saying it's going to go up, and what we see is the linear said one way maybe, and the polynomial said another way, just make sure that you can do it. And where are we meeting next week, Brian? In the lab, and then your problems that you have, guess what we're going to do? Address those problems. So give it an attempt now, Brian. Work with your group. So one of the things is with this assignment, work with your group. The only thing is, each person in the group pick another stop. You can choose what you want. Your group can do different sectors too. No, you can, let's start with one. Just even do one. You know what I mean? As we get through it, we can do one. Let's just even do one. Yeah, Alex. So, what?
Tomorrow?
What?
Should I go tomorrow?
Yeah, go tomorrow to the lab.
7 or 8?
What?
Do you want Ninja Trader 7 or 8?
I want both.
Both, okay.
I want both. See, go to a couple of the machines there, see if they're working, and then contact. Let me see if I have his email. Hold on, let me see if I have his email. Stay with me if you have questions. Did that make sense? Did you get it? No, did you get this? Did you get this when we were going?
Yeah, I did it.
Right, and then now show the differences. Did you get your R square?
Yep.
Now do the problems of the R square, and then try it out with a couple. And then on Friday or Thursday, see what the market did
Yeah.
to see if you were accurate. And then what you want is the computer every time
To add more.
to add more, and then it'll start becoming intelligent. But you have to start in the beginning, and now you see how it's doing. You get the idea of what it's like.
Right. Should we use order 6 always, or just
What?
the highest R for the polynomial trend line? Should we use the one, like the order with the highest
R
R
squared, yeah.
Just
Yeah, I think it goes up to 6.
Yeah.
Usually 6 is the highest because it has so many components, but it's the most complicated.
yeah, I think for mine it was order 5 that had the
Okay,
highest.
so fine, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just see here. Let me see my email here. Everything that can go wrong goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, what did they tell me Windows doesn't work
It
there?
was, yeah, it just wouldn't boot up.
Yeah, so let them know that they should fix it for next time. Well, next time we'll be in the other lab.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go to my email here. So what have you done so far?
I've just been working on algorithms because what I've done in the past, I've programmed with Python, with Java.
Okay.
But never, what is it, C#?
Yeah, it's similar. And you know what you should do? You should also go to, you can search them. Go to a publication called Stock, you write it down on your phone.
Okay.
It's called Stocks and Commodities.
Stocks and commodities.
So in Stocks and Commodities, and I'll give you some, is what they can do. You can get a free subscription for a period of time. And what they do is you can download strategies
For Ninja Trader?
for Ninja Trader.
Okay.
That people write articles. And you know what I'd like you to look at too? Is look for articles for Ninja Trader for what they call mean, MEAN, reversion.
Okay. What's that?
It's basically thinking about it is when people get overly excited, when the market basically either goes in one direction or the other,
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens? It reverts to the mean.
Okay.
So basically when what you'll see, when
It's like R, right? Where you can see the patterns where it.
So basically, and I'll show it to you, so basically, when you look at it, people go extreme, you know, when they'll hear some news or something, and it'll like bounce back to the mean.
Okay.
And it's almost like, think about it with like 3 standard deviations or
Yeah,
2 standard
yeah.
deviations, then this is where they do it. And where people are doing is they're waiting for that, so a lot of these trading algorithms are waiting till they hit those 3 or 2 standard deviations, and
Okay.
then they trade very little. So
Oh.
now what's the trading is that when you're on the outer limits, then you want to be able to basically do your trades, because you know that it's going to start.
So you're
Go.
betting on not just the market, but the traders.
It's almost
Okay.
that you're basically marketing on how, because who makes the market?
Yeah, it's the people who are trading in it.
Right, and we as people, we become greedy,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
Yeah.
tend to, we overreact.
Yeah.
And what is the whole normal distribution kind of thing about going towards the mean is the majority is toward the means, and what they're trading is when it's going outside the
Mhm.
mean. So there's a whole area called, maybe you can do even like, help me on, I want to do a paper on this, on mean reversion and creating algorithms and modifying algorithms to do the mean reversion.
Okay, yeah.
And then maybe are you working now?
What do you mean?
Outside of school?
Not right now, no.
Okay, so maybe you can start, this semester or next semester, maybe you can work for me,
Yeah, absolutely.
and we can do some of this.
Yeah. No, that'd be great.
Okay, are you work study or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you on scholarship or?
No.
Okay, so we'll work out something where you can be my assistant, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're also computer science here, so I want to do some things too for your projects that you're going to be learning, you know what I mean? And then you can help others look at it and helping other students and explaining it to them, and then maybe in those terms that you
Yeah.
can get more out of this, and even next semester you can work with me as well. So we can do some mean reversion
Definitely.
exercises with it. So go ahead, and let me give you that David's
Okay, yeah.
email too, and then you can tell him that you're in my class and that you're working with me. Let me just see here.
Should I email him regardless, or just email him if we have an issue with the Ninja
Well, you can
software?
even say that you're gonna go and check it. This is at dchun.edu.
dchun@miami.edu. Okay.
And just tell him that, see, and he even give me the lab, right? Reservations. And that you check it out first, and then if everything's working there, and then check to see if we can set up I would imagine that if I can, in that room, if we can set up our laptop with the,
Display?
yeah, because they're gonna have a regular computer. I want Ninja 7 and 8 and all the computers, and then I'll bring my computer as well. Maybe we'll use my computer to
can
broadcast it.
Probably disconnect the computer there into.
Yeah, no, but they should have, they've set it up, I'm
Okay.
sure they have it, but just make sure that what connections do we need, that if it's working, that
Yeah.
we can set it up. Yeah, even check tomorrow, because he said it was gonna be done tonight, and you know how things happen
Yeah.
when they say tonight, so at least we can get on the, you can, what'd be even good? Send him an email tonight and tell him I was in Dr. Rushnick's class,
Okay.
and she asked me that she asked me to go check on Ninja Trader
Yeah.
7 and 8. I'll be checking on it tomorrow.
Okay.
Is
I'll
it,
encourage them to get it done.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because, and even when they've done it, they download, nobody actually knows how to see. So connect and try out some of this, a couple of,
Yeah.
like even just what we did now on the simple moving average, try it out on not only the computer of the professor, but
And the students'
just, pick you don't have to do them all. I think there's like 40 computers or 50 computers there.
Try out a few.
Yeah, just try out a few for the sampling part.
Okay.
That you can do that, and then let me know send me an email, but even you can CC it to me.
Okay.
When you
yeah,
send
yeah.
it to the David, that Dr. Rushnick asked me to
Yeah.
contact you, that she just wants me to check on that tomorrow. When are you free tomorrow? So you can give him like a time,
Yeah.
give him, let him do it, because he probably didn't finish in the morning, tonight.
Yeah, I probably can buy noon tomorrow.
So,
Check on.
yeah, so you can ask him, is noon all right for me to check on the lab? Because there may be other classes going on in there, so you can see, or, once you pass by, you can ask him, when is the lab available for me
Yeah.
to check on? I wanted to be prepared.
Okay, I can do that.
Perfect. So we can do that, and then just look for, and I'll send you some notes also on articles that I find on mean reversion, and then you can download. And so what, let me show you, what Stocks and Commodities do is they actually then have, let's see, mean reversion. Let's see, strategies. Let's say Ninja Trader, let's see what we get.
Yeah, there are a lot of strategies for swing trading. Yeah.
So see here, Ninja Support, hello all, you know what I mean? So there's even an indicator. So sometimes if it's not even from a strategy, we could even see there, mini reverse spread strategy, let's see. Part of, see if they're.
Actually, it's very similar to Java. Just a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit
no, it is. It's extreme. They all copy each other.
They're
As a matter of
almost
fact,
yeah.
Microsoft had to change it a little bit because at that time Sun was suing Microsoft for stealing the Java, so they made
Yeah.
a little change. But it's once you know a couple of languages,
Oh, okay.
it doesn't matter. But the beauty here in Ninja Script is a lot of the functions and the libraries are built in already, so you don't
Yeah.
have to write them. So you don't have to write an enter long, you don't have to write enter short.
Yeah.
That's done for you already. So then basically you just have to think about, the logic here. And as a matter of fact, once you get this is beautiful, because I have a guy in Colombia that he has a group that is doing trading strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically, we're telling him what we want. We want short, for class period, for our class, we want short strategies for
Yeah.
time that in the beginning of the class, we can start something.
Oh, yeah.
And in the end of the
Results.
class, we can see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
So we don't have to wait 5 days.
Yeah.
So he said he's gonna look at it, and I told him do it, and he's done it in TradeStation.
Okay.
But the problem with TradeStation, a lot of the traders use TradeStation, but the problem is they don't have a simulated free version like
So you
Ninja
have to
Trader.
pay. Yeah.
We have to pay, and it's not in, and once you get it in, they switch. So he said, you know what, I have it in TradeStation now, I'll try to get it in Ninja Trader. And then we said, we'll look at it and see if we can improve it.
Yeah, definitely.
So what the beauty is, start with a strategy already done, don't start with something from scratch.
And then work on that.
And work, how can I now keep on improving it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And what year are you now?
I'm a freshman right now. so-
Perfect, so you can even work
Got
with me
lots of
for,
time.
throughout the years.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Once
Yeah.
you start, and then we can, and it makes more sense, then you can basically, even next, next semester, I'm doing, when you sign up, next semester, I'm doing a health informatics class.
Okay.
Sign up for that.
Health informatics. Okay.
But basically, it's just looking at the health sector. So you can take your same project that you do in there and just concentrate on the health sector market.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yeah, so look through these and see what look through indicators and so forth, so that's what I wanna add. One is in the Ninja Trader, even in the forum, they have some that you can download. And then, let me even see if stocks, sometimes, here, you see this? And then you can start reading about that. Mean reversion indicator, which to use. So you can, if they have an indicator, then you can bring it into a strategy.
Okay.
Do you know the difference between an indicator and a strategy? An indicator is like a function.
Okay, and then the strategy
The strategy is basically going to be trading on its own.
Okay.
So if you go to Ninja Trader, for instance, right, and then when I go to tool, edit, see how you can edit a strategy or you can edit an indicator?
Yeah.
And if you look at the indicator, look at all the indicators.
Oh, okay.
So you can have a number of
Your
indicators
strategies.
to make a strategies.
Okay.
And you have these already all built in.
Yeah. Wow. What are the lock symbols on them?
What? Oh, that now you have to unlock it in
Okay.
order, some of these are there, you have to unlock it before you do it, that's all.
Yeah, but there's some free ones in there.
What?
I see some free ones.
Yeah, but all of them, you can start, you can do it, even if I go see here, SMA.
Yeah, SMA was in.
Yeah, no, but they're all you can get into it. See there, namespace,
Okay.
standard deviation. So you don't
Yeah.
have to create a standard deviation. It's already there.
Okay. Wow. All right, I'll look into it tonight.
Yeah, no, it'll be wonderful. So look under mean reversion, and then that'll be great. I'll have you, and these guys are, as a matter of fact, and that's what they want to work with us. And I told them, let's do that. They had come to my class before, even the couple of guys from Columbia.
Yeah.
Some students came, and then I told you. So he wants to continue working. He said, I hadn't heard from him in a while, and he says, this is the best I can do. So that's great. I said, that's great. If you can get short term, and then I said, just get it into Ninja Trader.
Okay. Yeah.
And then once it's into Ninja Trader, then we'll try to make improvements to it.
Okay.
And in the class, they're not I don't want, but the class, what you can use the class for is they can run a number of different symbols on it to give us feedback on how it is, and then they can feel how it is to work in a group. Where you'll be working on the programming end, and then they'll help you basically implement a number of the traits.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm still gonna look at C# tonight.
Yeah,
Try
look
to
at
work on that.
look at basically, but you'll see when you look at it. My goodness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all very.
So look at this,
If
doubles
statements,
and
else,
for
yeah.
loops. I mean,
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is
I mean, that's identical to Java. I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
just the libraries that are different.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's not the idea. What's difficult about this is figuring out a good strategy.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
programming
Anyone
is
could write it.
what.
Anyone can write it, but it's figuring out your own strategy.
Well, not your strategy, but modifying other even you don't even have to do this, or being able to, you understand, and that the market changes, so your strategies needs to adjust. And that's why I wanted to look at, now the market seems to be working toward, I really think, we had someone else here, maybe I'll bring him to class too. I told you he's local, and his problem with his algorithm is he trades very little. He misses a lot of those. When the market is, because he's waiting for it to make those big swings.
Yeah.
And he gets out of the mark, he doesn't enter because he's waiting.
Which is safe.
Right.
Yeah.
So he misses a lot. And I can see it, he doesn't want to lose money. But then with all those, when it's going down sharply or when it's going up,
Unit cost.
right, and when it comes back. So it's, okay, I'm glad that you're excited about it, and
Yeah,
that you can learn, and that you took this. And that's great that you're a freshman, so we can start off You know, maybe we can even start off with assignments now,
Yeah.
and then some of this work that you do, we can think about doing that same work with the health sector.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter, right? They're
Yeah.
just we'll just switch it, and then the health sector works, and we can get more and more into depth of it.
Yeah.
Perfect, Ellen. Okay, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm
very
looking forward to work with you more.
much. Yeah, I'll CC you on that email.
Yeah, CC it, send it even I guess even in the morning, because he said they're working on it tonight. Send it even in the morning, and just tell them that when you were planning to come today, is it all right to come at noon, and then he
Yeah.
can come back and say, well,
We'll make sure that it's done.
right, okay, ciao.
Have a great night.